breaking news that was happening. Of course, we've got some rogue judges out there. We've known about this, but this one is a bit of a different story. This one ties in more to what's happening at the border and the border crisis. Tell us what's going on there, Will.
That's right. So a former state judge, county magistrate judge Joel Cano, and his wife Nancy Cano were arrested by federal authorities yesterday evening.
Yes, just the last few hours.
Right.
Really.
And what they are accused of and being charged with is that they were harboring an illegal immigrant that was a member of Tren de Aragua. That is the Venezuelan gang that has been listed as a foreign terrorist organization now, and many of these deportation flights that are happening under the Alien Enemies Act are related to those gang members. This was a judge in New Mexico that was having a member of Tren de Aragua living in his guest house for some time. This individual came to the United States illegally in 2023. They were detained at the border, but because of the housing issues under the Biden administration, was given a court date and released. The old catch and release, as they did during the Biden years. And of course, he made his way to become and worked as a handyman, apparently, for some time for this judge. Became good friends of the family.
Spending Christmases, holidays.
There's photos of him with their family at Christmas. And when federal authorities were investigating to find this individual,
doing their search, they're hunting, they're obviously doing all of the spy work, if you will, to make sure they're tracking people, finding out where could they possibly be. We're looking for these, crime bosses of Tren de la Agua. And where'd they find him?
They found him in the guest home of this judge. The judge then resigned from the bench just last week.
Again, hold on. I think you went over that a little too chill. They found him living in the home of the judge. Of course, you said he became a family friend of this judge, but we found out that essentially, not necessarily on paper, but essentially was harboring not just people who are, immigrants that have come in here illegally or have done something different, gang members that are, and again, this isn't like a theoretical.
Right. The investigation led to warrants getting obtained to get his text messages and his voicemails. And this gang activity didn't stop when he got to the United States. He was seen as a gang member. Authorities found him, tracked him, arrested him, and that was at the home of this judge. The judge, because of the scandal surrounding it, resigned in March from the bench. The Supreme Court of New Mexico, not necessarily a conservative court, banned him for life from being a judge in New Mexico. And then today, or just last night, federal authorities arrested him and his wife on charges of witness or evidence tampering because they were harboring this individual.
We spent some time in New Mexico. And here's what I can tell you. As much as I think it's a beautiful state, I mean, some of the prettiest landscape I've ever seen in my entire life was driving through New Mexico. I kind of said, you look up, you see the beauty, and you look down and you see a lot of what's going on, a lot of the crime on the streets. And it was probably the most evident of any state I've visited in, that there is crime and organized crime going on. And when you have these kind of states where this kind of corruption is being allowed to overrun the state, it is really unfortunate. Of course, I'm talking about like downtown Albuquerque. Of course, in the suburbs and things, it's fine. But we even saw, I stayed in like an Airbnb outside in a nice area. And there were people in front of our home digging through the trash, going through things, and people that were clearly unwell. It's a crisis that's happening in a lot of these states. And the problem is the government is just not, they're ignoring it.
Right. And I think also it's not just the state government. It was the last 4 years. I assume that things got much, much worse. And even to your point, that anecdote about seeing someone on the street at night in a suburban neighborhood that was going through trash cans and things of that nature. I stayed downtown in a hotel and looked over, and I saw multiple times while I was there, city blocks blocked off completely by ICE officials. Like 10 vehicles blocking off an entire block, having some sort of
during the Biden administration.
During the Biden administration, this is happening, seeing some sort of immigration enforcement taking place. And what shocked me was, one, to see that, because we are not used to that here, but two, the reaction of the people that were going about their day walking to work. If that happened here, there would probably be a crowd of onlookers wondering what's going on, or the streets would be completely quiet. Instead, you saw everyone walking with their coffee, with their earbuds in, as if nothing was happening, walking through an active operation.
Crime moment.
Just walking, and that shocked me as well, that what a beautiful place with such wonderful people that we met and worked with for days filming a movie there. And just that what the government has failed them both at the federal level and the state level, and made it a very dangerous place in a real sense.
And now
then
we're
you
saying
have
that
a judge.
now it's almost like we
that.
have the proof,
right?
And the proof is you have judges harboring essentially. You want to say terrorists, but gang members.
Someone that is a member of a gang that is on the foreign terrorist organization list. So yes, harboring a terrorist, I think, is an accurate and correct description at this point, Logan.
All right, okay, then you're right. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to be kind. It is what it is. Rick
Kind
Renell,
to a terrorist or kind to the judge?
I don't know.
Tell me.
Neither, really.
Don't be so kind then.
You got to approach things differently sometimes. We are so excited to announce the ACLJ's brand new app, completely redesigned to provide you with the best tools available to partner with us at the ACLJ. You can watch the daily Seculo program, sign the petitions, customize your ACLJ membership experience, donate with the click of a button, and receive up-to-the-minute critical updates that the mainstream media can't censor. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to your phone's app store, search ACLJ, and click install. It's that simple.